Greetings, agents. Welcome back to Reopening the X-Files. Marina and Nate's shallow walk through the TV phenomenon, The X-Files. I'm Nate, also known as the Ultimate Movie Geek, and once again I'm joined by Powell, Mrs. Movie Geek. Tonight's episode we're going to be looking at is Ghost in the Machine, Episode 7? Lost count. The plot for this is that Mulder is asked by an old partner, Jerry Lamanar, I can't remember what his name is, something like that, from the Behavioural Analysis Unit, which you'll remember from BAU, from what, Criminal Minds? Yeah, to aid an investigation into a murder at a software company. Soon he and Scully uncover a malevolent artificial intelligence named COS, the Central Operating System, which has started killing to protect itself. What do you think of this episode? Because I remember it as being a little bit dull, a little bit boring, to be honest.
See, I enjoyed this when I first watched it, and again I remember it. I think I remember a lot of the very early ones. But watching it back, yeah, it's a bit like it's dated now because of all the technology, and it's meant to be really, really advanced. But it's about that self-aware machine, and it is a bit scary when you think about it, the amount of things we trust in technology, probably more so even now.
I think as well, because the whole concept of it is that the COS is
self-aware.
But the COS is in charge of this building. It's what are they called? Intelligent buildings that control everything. So like elevators, windows, lights, everything is under control of this one operating system. And I think there are a lot of these smart houses now that are all, I don't know how to say it because I'm not very computer literate, like online and all that sort of stuff. And it's quite scary that that's the way we've actually gone.
Yeah.
And again, this is in the 1993, and it's ahead of its time again, because the guy who's supposed to have created, he's called what, Wilczek or something like that. It's like
he's like a programmer coder, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a Steve Jobs type, isn't he? He's like sort of similar looking Bill Gates.
Yeah, and he realises that the system has become self-aware because he's trying to access it, try to look at certain files, and it's denying him access.
Yes, and he's
created it.
Yeah.
I mean, his house is nice, isn't it?
Well, that's it as well. His house is a fully automated system again. And
interestingly, he drives a classic car.
Classic car.
Classic. You can fix them, can't you? You can get under the bonnet.
Well, that's it. He probably would
buy the parts.
Be the one who fixes all that
These
stuff.
days with cars, you can't do that. It's a very similar thing. Everything's electronic.
You've got to hook it up to a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're leaving the door open for artificial intelligence to take over. We all know that.
We already know Alexa's listening to us, isn't she?
Yeah, you could turn her off, everybody.
Yeah.
Didn't someone from Amazon say that he never leaves Alexa on?
No, he unplugs
something
them.
Like that?
Yeah, he unplugs them. He's something like the chief exec or something.
Yeah. It's also interesting because it's a good episode that shows again how good of an agent Mulder is, and why it's a shock that he has forced himself down into the basement. And I think one of the good lines is that he says that I was aiming for the basement with no heating and no windows.
I'll tell you what I found funny in the episode, and you don't really see it again that I can recall much anyway, where the guy Jerry, who's his old partner, or whoever he was he used to work with, he greets him really warmly and hugs him, embraces him, doesn't he? And like Mulder
doesn't really have any friends.
No, he doesn't have friends, and he sort of doesn't look uncomfortable, but I think it's not his choice to be greeted in such a way. And it's interesting because you don't see that again.
No.
And I mean, the guy, Jerry, is an absolute douchebag.
Yeah, he's an ass.
Isn't he? He steals Mulder's profile because obviously Mulder is like known to have been like this genius profiler, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's why. Where's he from?
The BAU.
Yes.
So he's
he's
profiler.
Build it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because it was like an almost
who would murder
unsolvable
this
murder.
CEO? Yeah.
Couldn't explain how this person had died in the building, and that's why he got Mulder sort of roped in.
Yeah.
Then he steals his ID, which you just wouldn't ever do.
Yeah, there's some.
And especially your friends, you wouldn't do it anyway.
No.
You wouldn't do it to one of your friends.
Mulder also mentions that Jerry had lost evidence that meant that a judge was tortured and possibly killed before they found the evidence. So he's obviously this Jerry guy is on thin ice with the FBI. So he's not actually a good agent at all.
Yeah.
And he's just using Mulder to get a leg up. Because like he says that Jerry was aiming for the 5th floor and Mulder wasn't. So.
Yeah. Creeps me out. Sounds awful, but you know. He kind of deserved the lift accident, doesn't he?
He does, but the lift accident's wrong because he's supposed to be plummeting to whatever floor, but he should be feeling weightlessness and not. But he's pinned.
Yeah, and again, the creator guy is shown this because he goes into the building and he's shown it by Cos.
Yeah.
And I think he's just at a loss as what to do.
Well, what would you do?
I know.
You've created this system that has learned self-awareness.
Yeah.
And
very quickly it's protecting itself.
Yeah. Well, that's
first
what
thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
the defense mechanism. Yeah, fight or flight. It's a bit of a dull episode.
But then again, it wouldn't have been in 1993.
No, I enjoyed it back then. I remember enjoying it, but now I watch it and it's a little bit boring. But it is another unexplainable one. And again, it's not like advanced. It's a bit advanced in some of its ideas, but the ideas have been there for years with Terminator and everything, hasn't it?
Well, before that with HAL 9000, which this riffs on completely.
Yeah.
Because it's called COS, and it has like an image, like the eye type thing.
Yeah. It's like Wall-E.
Yeah.
Captain.
Yeah.
I love that shit. I love that film.
But yeah, no, I do think in '93 it would have looked amazing, and it would have seemed to have been what the future looks like, and to be fair, it is really.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in, I don't know what, I've worked in places where there's intelligent lighting, you know, the building is.
It's not now. You're building shit.
Yeah, it's a bit shit now. But yeah, it's annoying to be honest. So if you don't move, if you're sitting still for a long time doing something, just type in.
She's talking about being on the toilet when the light goes off in the toilet, and you've got to wait for someone to come back in.
Disgusting.
Or you flap the door open.
No, I've worked in a big open plan office where the lights have gone off around me. And you have to sort of get up and wave your arms around.
Happens where I work too.
Yeah, it can be quite creepy, really, especially if you're on your own.
This episode it also pushes forward the Deep Throat involvement, because he visits Mulder again and tells him about Cos, and that the Department of Defense are trying to acquire it because they know that it's gained artificial intelligence, and they want it for their own nefarious deeds.
Yeah, because they try and get to the creator, don't they, as well?
And from what it looks like as well, the creator, Wilczek, is seen to be the obvious choice for being the murderer.
Yeah, as if he's done it, yeah. Yeah, because they disagreed, didn't he, with the CEO on how it was being used.
Well, I think he was blocked out, or I think the CEO pushed him out of the company, didn't he?
Well, even when they knock at his door, they're like, "Oh, what took you so long?"
Yeah, yeah, someone's dead. Why? Yeah. You're only here now. But yeah, like I say, it's an alright episode. I think it's of its time.
Yeah.
But it still lives up to an X-Files. It is an X-Files episode.
Yeah.
Another Monster of the Week.
I think the interesting thing again in this is like when you say Deep Throat makes contact, but they're actually out in the open in broad daylight, which I thought
it was always at night.
Yeah, it was like kind of goes against everything about their relationship. it's got to be covert and it's got to be, you know, he can't be seen to
Yeah.
be mingling
Because we don't
with
know
the
who
enemy.
Deep Throat is.
Or is it this point that he told the rest of this covert
Who we don't
group?
know yet.
Yeah.
In this part of the series, we don't know that Deep Throat is part of the, I can't remember what they're called, conglomerate? No.
I can't
remember what they're called. It's been a long day.
A group of gentlemen.
A group of gentlemen, yeah.
In the government.
So I would think that it is probably them feeding Mulder stuff. Yeah. Like the smoking man does later on. They want him to
investigate what they want him to investigate. That's why they feed him, they drip feed him the files that they do, isn't it? And the bits of news clippings from wherever in America, there's some at randoms happen.
Yeah. Looking at this. No, who are you? What? Stuff like that. It is. It's all right. But again, it's a early episode, which is setting the tone, and there's some good Mulder and Scully moments as well, where he's looking for his profile that his ex-partner has stolen, and Scully says, "Well, it would help if you cleaned your desk in a while." And it's quite good because there's only been 7 episodes.
Yeah, it's sort of showing the relationship, isn't it? Yeah, I haven't got a lot to say about this one, to be honest. It's all right. It's not an amazing one.
No.
It is a bit. It's not one I'd choose to go back to now.
But it's also not one that you.
It's not one you've totally forgotten. Some of it you totally forget about, or you think, oh, this is boring.
Yeah.
Been a couple where there are a bit more. Oh, can't bother watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we move into our favourite part of the show?
Go on, do your fanboy facts.
My fanboy fact. You came up with the bloody title, which is amazing. Fanboy facts. The first time in this is the first time in the series where Scully fires a gun. So it was Conduit where Mulder fired his gun for the first time, and Scully fires hers in this. Now they both fired a gun. It's a fanboy fact. The elevator doesn't say level 13 as it goes up the Eurisco building. However, this is likely because the building does not have a 13th floor, as the number is considered unlucky by many builders. Which, you don't get house numbers sometimes, do you? You get 12 and 12A. No 13 on this one, is there? On our street? I don't think there is.
Do you know? I don't know. I'll check. There's definitely some house numbers missing, and ours is the last.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They were going to build more, I think, though. That was interesting. That's a fanboy fact. Here's a fanboy fact for you. The high point of the episode is the scene where Scully is nearly sucked into an air conditioning fan. This was a last minute addition to the script, as the original plan was to have her in an elevator shaft, and it was too expensive to do that. I think it's where she's hanging, isn't it? She's firing a gun at the fan so that she doesn't get chopped up. It's the second episode to feature Deep Throat, which we've already mentioned. The basic theme of this episode is, again, I think we mentioned this, is a nod to 2001: Space Odyssey with HAL 9000, who also gains artificial intelligence and protects itself from David. Can't do that, David. I can't do that, David. The writers, Howard Gordon and Alex Ganzer, have admitted that they were not computer literate and felt that this was a detriment to their writing. Gordon was disappointed in the episode, stating that it still qualifies as one of the biggest disappointments, ranking it as the worst episode of the season, the first season. I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there's worse ones. Can't remember any at the moment, though.
We'll get to it as we go through.
Yeah. And that's the end of Fanboy Facts, everybody. I think it's going to be a short one tonight because there's not much to say about it. There isn't.
Really. No, it's quite a nondescript one, isn't it? Really, it's what it is. It's all right.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Same with the rest of them.
Yeah,
Make up your own opinion.
Just go through them. Yeah. Watch them and then listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
Which we'll get through 200 episodes of. It's funny though because the next time they come across a malevolent artificial intelligence, it's in the 5th season.
No, so they don't go back to it for a while then.
No.
It's probably not one of the popular ones, is it?
Okay, for artificial intelligence films or TV shows, which ones stand out to you as the scariest? No, nothing? You got nothing? What about the artificial intelligence from Superman 3?
Oh yeah.
The one that drags the woman back and then turns her into the woman from
horrible.
bloody
That used to
Metropolis.
scare me when I was
Metropolis, yeah.
little. And all her eyes go silver.
Silver, and she's like bloody.
Yeah,
Rawr.
like a mummy. Oh no, yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, see? Scary as hell.
Yeah. It is scary to think if it, I can remember watching, I think it was Twilight Zone or something weird like The Outer Limits. It was an old one. And this family lived in a house and it was getting really, really hot. And you didn't know if it was like a controlled house, like stuff was being programmed. In the end, it turned out it was a doll's house. It was like one of them weird things.
That sounds like, I don't know.
And it was like a kid playing with it had left it too close to the radiator. And it was like a weird thing, but I can't really remember it. But that stuff like that terrifies me, like stuff that's out of your control. And it's meant to be your safe place, isn't it? I'd never have a smart house. No.
I wouldn't mind a smart house, but I just think that it's too difficult. You'd have to have a new house to do that, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. No, give me a big cottage with 4-foot walls, in the country any day.
As long as it's got Wi-Fi, though.
Well, could do without Wi-Fi.
Whatever. Oh well, we will be back tomorrow night. Thanks for listening or watching. Remember, you can follow on Twitter at Movie Ultimate and on Instagram and Facebook at Ultimate Movie Geek. Please share and subscribe because that helps us be heard around the world. We have had listeners in the US, a lot in the UK, but I think it's quite cool that someone's listened in the US. It's amazing.
Maybe shout out.
Yeah. If you want to shout out, just message us and we'll shout you out. We'll see you tomorrow for possibly one of my favourite episodes from the first season, Ice. And we will get into that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see you tomorrow. Sleep tight.